Okay, we're ready. Ready, Tony?
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining us. It's great to be here with my colleague, Brad Albert, as well as business owner, Brian Garrett. And so anyway, thank you for coming. And my name is Chris Miller. I'm the state representative for the 1st District, and I'm also the chair of the Illinois Freedom Caucus. We're here today to draw attention to an issue that faces countless working families and small businesses here in the great state of Illinois. Thousands of people have received their utility bill, which is set to reflect anywhere from a 20% to a 40% increase in their electric prices. For many families and businesses, this is going to bust the budget, leaving them with difficult choices of whether to cool their homes and their businesses or whether to feed their families. In many cases, from the phone calls we've received, is that many of these bills are the equivalent to another mortgage payment. Today, it's very important for y'all to know that we have very low IQ people running our state. And unfortunately, this is a bipartisan issue. The prices we see on your electric bill are the product of failed, disastrous public policy being forced by Governor Pritzker, the failed Biden-Harris administration, the Democrats in Springfield, and the woke green bad deal mafia. The pretenders have destroyed energy independence, taken the power generation off the grid, and set us back years in reliability. All in the name of worshiping the green goddess. And let me be clear about one thing. Losers always play the blame game. And the Biden and Harris administration, as well as the Pritzker administration, have a severe case of Trump derangement syndrome, and they're trying to blame our current president on the mess that created. And let me be very clear, Donald Trump didn't create this mess, but he's doing with everything within his power to kind of clean it up. And we all know that inflation is driven by all of this green energy crap they're trying to force down our throat. This has to stop, or we'll be facing even more costs and increases just like you see today. We must repeal CEJA, and when you dissect this bill, there's a reason why the people have nicknamed the Capitol in Springfield the Bad Idea Factory. It's just because of stuff like this. We have to repeal CEJA because there's no way to fix it. There's no way to amend it, and this bill needs to go straight in the garbage. We need to unchain as well as unburden coal, natural gas, nuclear energy, and return to cheap, affordable, reliable energy to power our grid. And finally, we must stop pretending like solar panels and wind turbines are going to save the world. There are not enough Chinese solar panels to connect to our power grid to replace our affordability and reliability options that we currently have. And if the Democrats keep trying if they keep continuing to promote this green energy scam, families will be leaving Illinois and business will be closing. And that, my friends, is the unvarnished truth. I would like now to bring up Brian Garrett, the owner of the Embarras Bar and Grill here where we are today. Brian received his latest utility bill. As you can see here, it's approximately $3,000, an increase of over $1,000 in just 1 month in a year. And if you look back at over the years, this is a massive increase from what it was. Brian is here today to talk about how not only this cost, but other issues in Illinois are making it hard to run a successful small business in the state of Illinois. So, Brian?
Thank you. Chris and Brad come in here. I'm not a politician, I'm a burger and beer guy, so, I don't prepare speeches and stuff, so here we go. Yeah, you get a $3,000 bill when you're expecting. It costs you 1 month, $1,000 a month. You can't budget for that, you can't plan for that, and then, it has strict on that. We're at the point where we had to, cut back on hours of some of our employees and take up those hours ourselves. We can't, keep up with payroll to pay that stuff. And, it seems like it always trickles down to a little guy, like us. Your big companies like your food suppliers, your things like that, they're not gonna take the loss. So it all comes down to me. And then what happens is I can't just raise the prices on my customers. They're in the same situation we are. And so when it comes down to me, we're kind of where the neighbor thing is. It stops with us. And my first people who ask customers who don't have that land come out and get the burgers and beers. So that's where we are. So I appreciate you guys coming in today. Glad to take it for you.
Thank you, Ryan. I'm Brad Halbrook, 107th District, Shelbyville, member of the Illinois Freedom Caucus. As you've already heard, Illinois is screaming into an energy crisis, and let's be clear, this crisis just didn't happen. It was engineered right in Springfield by politicians more concerned with green talking points than with reality. Despite what Governor Pritzker may claim, this problem is our own making, as the Chicago Tribune recently put it, and I quote, "At least in Illinois, where Pritzker spearheaded the 2021 Climate and Equitable Jobs Act, CEJA, the governor owns these electricity woes, whether he likes it or not," unquote. I couldn't agree more. Back in May, my colleagues and I asked for a joint hearing of the Energy Committee, the House Energy and Senate Energy Committee. We wanted action before the summer heat was going to hit. Ameren had already warned of price hikes of 18 to 22% because the capacity auction rates had went from $10 per megawatt day to over $666 per megawatt day from the spring capacity auction. We rang the alarm. The Democrats hit the snooze button. Now, Ameren and ComEd customers are seeing double, triple-digit bill increases. Capacity shortfalls are creating market chaos, and ratepayers are paying the price. And now, yet another scandal. An audit just revealed that the very agency tasked with implementing CEJA has utterly failed to meet its so-called social equity goals. These were the glossy promises used to sell CEJA in the first place. Nothing more than political window dressing. And now these promises have crumbled. CEJA isn't just an economic failure, it's a moral failure. The very communities the governor and his allies claim to help have been abandoned. Under CEJA and its predecessor, FEJA, the Future Energy Jobs Act of 2016, Illinois has been shutting down affordable, reliable coal and natural gas plants, some sources that actually work and are critical to grid stability. But why? To appease the climate alarmists who think we can power Illinois with windmills and wishful thinking. The result? Jobs were eliminated, rates are skyrocketing, the entire energy system is destabilized. This was completely predictable and was predicted in 2021. And it gets worse than that. The Illinois manufacturers, the Local 150, and many other leaders across the state of Illinois are now warning that this forced march towards full electrification could cost over $1 trillion by the year 2050 and push residential rates and residential energy bills up by more than 2,000%. That's not just unsustainable, it's insanity. And this isn't some far-off threat, it's here. If you think your ComEd and Ameren bill doubling and tripling is bad, it is, but just wait. We're only at the beginning unless we change course now. CEJA isn't a climate solution, it's a taxpayer-funded political science project for green zealots. It's ideological extremists who confuse activism with sound policy. It's collapsing under its own weight and it's dragging working families down with it. We need the adults in the room. We as Republicans are ready to come to the table to craft a new energy policy, one that prioritizes access, capacity, and affordability. A policy that works for seniors, for schools, hospitals, small business, homeowners, and our future economy. Not one written by lobbyists and left-wing think tanks. Illinoisans deserve better, they deserve reliable, affordable power, and if Democrats won't act before the blackouts hit, then the people of the state will know exactly who to blame. And with that, we thank you for your attendance, and we're willing to take some questions. Thank you.
Representative Governor Pritzker is talking about the energy prices, but he's saying that PGM and the Trump administration are walking away from these green energy subsidies. That's what's causing it. Where is he wrong?
Yeah, so he's always first to blame everybody else but him and the Democrat majority that crafted this policy, right? He wants to blame the grid operators, MISO and PJM, for not bringing on the alternative projects soon. You know, he wanted to blame the recent passage of the 1BBB bill, that's the reduction in the subsidies for wind and solar, the tax rates. He wanted to blame that. These rates have been increasing for months. Ameren announced in April. ComEd, I think it was in May, they announced that the rates were going up. So all this stuff began months ago.
What can people do about it? You're the legislators, but you're in the minority. What's going to go back in about a month here in October? What can people expect? Will this even be discussed?
Well, I would anticipate energy policy to be discussed. There's been a push since late last fall to bring on battery storage and many things like that. That didn't get done to the extent that they wanted to in the lame duck session in January. There was a push to get it done before we adjourned in May. That didn't happen, but it is on the table to do something yet this fall in veto session, the last 2 weeks of October. I think the call needs to go out to constituents. They need to call the Democrats all across the state. They need to call their elected reps and senators. They need to call the governor's office and demand some energy policy changes to make this more affordable, or else it's going to be a really bad situation.
The governor found recently, or signed into law, $11 billion for a pension sweetener for Chicago firefighters and police officers. Could that money have been used for rebates to homeowners that are suffering like this? Are we just misguided in how we're spending the money?
Yeah, I think it's all about priorities. They'll do what they want to do. They need to read. We need to all come back to Springfield. We need to pass some policy, whether it's repeal CEJA, like Leader Chairman Miller has talked about, whatever the case might be. There's some avenues that we can take that we need to come back to Springfield sooner than later to get this policy in order to keep rates affordable.
This one's going to be for Ryan. I know that we talked about how much that it's going to. But rates do go up in summer. What I would ask you kind of a comparison of, hey, what was different this year compared to maybe some years past.
Right, last year we're about, that same bill, same time, was about 2,300, so quite a bit still in comparison. Same time.
And this is for either you guys on the outside there, but I didn't know if there was either a personal story, is something maybe where you guys can hear to work with general constituents. What kind of made you guys want to hit this right now?
Well, I think just by happenstance, I stopped here for lunch last week, and we got to talking about all these things, and Ryan told me a story, and we've been wanting to talk about this issue and bring awareness to what's going on here in the state of Illinois. I think that a lot of times we're missing the fundamental problem we have. The fundamental problem is the green energy scam that's driving all this madness and all of the money that's being thrown to try to turn Illinois green. We have over 200 billion tons of big, beautiful coal available. All we have to do is go get it. And it would be a tremendous driver for jobs and opportunity. This whole CEJA thing, this whole green energy scam needs to be thrown in the garbage where it belongs. If you think about it, in sound science, your observation dictates your conclusion. All right? You follow that? You look at it, you collect the data, you make decisions based on that. Since 1967, there have been 41 prophesied climate disasters that they've been claiming that was going to happen. The common thread that links all of those 41 disasters together is none of them ever happened. And guess what? It's not going to be number 42, 43, or 44 that's going to happen either. None of it's going to happen. And that's the reason why I say proceed in the garbage, start mining coal, big beautiful coal, natural gas, and nuclear. We have plenty of options that are able to give the citizens of Illinois the ability to have cheap, affordable, reliable energy.
Will you take an off-topic question? Okay. Yeah. How do you anticipate Illinois dams respond if Texas changes their maps?
Say that one more time.
How do you anticipate Illinois dams respond if Texas changes their map?
I would expect them to kind of lose control. That they're all about maintaining the status quo. It's just really hypocritical, I think, of the governor to bring these folks in these legislators from Texas when he's standing on the worst hearing maps in our state, in our state's history, in the nation. It's just hypocritical. What they're responsible to be, I don't think.
One more question.
We can do one more. A new poll shows Governor Pritzker with this 47% favorable rating. Where do you see him being most vulnerable in that reelection effort that he's trying to go through?
Could you repeat that, please?
Sure. The new poll has the governor with about a 47% favorable rating. Where do you see the governor being most vulnerable in his reelection effort?
Security, quality education, economic opportunity, and energy independence. Just names four off the hit parade. Those should resonate with every voter. And why they would think that the elected never changes his spots, and to think that he's going to change anything. If you give him one more term, I don't see that happening. So those are four things just off the top of my head that is going to make him extremely vulnerable. The problem is we have a complicit press. They never ask him any hardball questions. They never ever have any hard follow-up questions. And so basically he's been able to scam the citizens of Illinois into thinking that he's Mr. Wonderful, which he's been the orchestra director of this mess, and he's actually screwed up one of the greatest states in the United States.